During these uncertain times, it doesn't hurt to gravitate towards stocking products in your pantry that have a longer shelf life. Here are 25 normal food products that last a long time without additional preservation methods. The shelf lives mentioned are average and depend on the specific product and packaging. Timelines can be extended using methods not discussed in this video. Number 1, potatoes. If stored in a cool, dry, dark place, they can last for several months. In particular, the larger white or russet potatoes will last for longer. Number 2, onions. If stored in a cool, dry, dark place, they can last 2 to 3 months, but make sure you don't store them next to potatoes because it can reduce their shelf life. Number 3 is oats. If their storage is airtight and they're placed in a cool, dark place, oats can last for 2 to 3 years. Number 4 is peanuts, particularly in the shell. If stored in the fridge, they can last for 12 months and 2 years if they're frozen. Number 5 is squash. Squash are some of the most durable vegetables, and they have the potential to last for months without any additional preservation methods. Number 6 is apples. Apples should be stored in a cool place with some humidity so that they don't dry out, and this way they can last up to 6 months. Number 7 is instant coffee. If it's kept very dry, it can last for at least a couple of years in its original packaging. And remember, instant coffee works for great coffee flavor addition to recipes. Number 8 is white rice. It lasts much longer than brown rice for many reasons, including that it has less oil content. If just stored regularly at room temperature, it can last a couple of years, and much longer than that if you implement other preservation methods. Number 9 is tea. As long as there isn't too much moisture, tea can last indefinitely, but it will lose its flavor. Make sure to store tea in an airtight container. Number 10 is honey. As honey gets older, it may darken and form crystals and lose its aroma. However, it can last indefinitely. For example, archaeologists found Egyptian tombs that had technically edible honey inside. Number 11 is powdered milk. It can range between 2 and 10 years. There's all sorts of factors, but it should be stored in cool temperatures in a dark location. And of course, once the package opens, it's going to last for less time. And the lower fat milk is going to last longer than the higher fat milk. Number 12 is unpopped popcorn kernels. If stored at room temperature, they can last indefinitely if unopened. If you need to rejuvenate them, you can soak them in water, drain them, and then pop them. It can add more moisture and make fluffier popcorn. Number 13 is beef jerky. It's lean, dry, and salt adds to its stability. The commercial varieties can last 1 to 2 years, and if it's leaner, it's going to have a longer shelf life. Number 14 is maple syrup. It lasts basically forever, but if it's open, keep it in the fridge. Number 15 is dry pasta. It's usually just flour and water as opposed to the fresh variety that has eggs, so it lasts a really long time, from months to years. Number 16 is bouillon cubes. If stored in a dry, dark pantry in a well-sealed package, they will last at least a couple of years. Number 17 is soy sauce. Due to the high concentration of salt, some say it lasts indefinitely. Others say if unopened, it'll last 2 to 3 years. But once opened, make sure you put it in the fridge. Number 18 is peanut butter. With time, the oil will separate and it will start to dry out. It depends if you have a commercial variety, which will last a couple of years, or a natural variety without preservatives that will last usually less than a year. Number 19 is low moisture hard cheese like Parmesan and aged cheddar, which can last for many months or even years. Number 20 is dark chocolate. Due to having little to no milk content, it can last for at least a couple of years. It's best not to refrigerate dark chocolate because it can get a whitish appearance from the sugar rising to the surface. Number 21 is olives. If properly stored, an unopened jar or can of olives will generally stay at great quality for about 2 years, maybe even 3 years. Number 22 is canned tuna and other canned items like fruits and vegetables. If unopened, the commercial varieties can last 3 to 5 years. I like to store canned beans and canned tomatoes. Number 23 is dried beans. If kept dry, they can last years, or some say indefinitely, but it will just take longer to cook them as time goes on because they do dry out. Number 24 is salt. If kept dry, it can last indefinitely. It is used as a preserver of foods after all. The iodized variety won't last as long, somewhere around 5 years. Number 25 is coconut oil. Coconut oil will last longer compared to other oils such as olive or canola oil. It will last at least a couple of years, and it's best to buy the virgin or extra virgin varieties to extend its shelf life. Generally speaking, moisture and high temperature conditions shorten the life of food, and foods with higher fat content don't last as long. Sealed and oxygen-sealed conditions are ideal, using Mylar-type bags with oxygen absorbers. Let us know in the comments if you can dehydrate or freeze dry your own foods, and which are your favorites. If you enjoy this content, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell.